welcome back to yet another Northern Exotics video. In today's video, we're going to be teaching you how to make this. Can you see Hugo, my Savannah monitor? He's got that piece of wood there holding the two bulb holders. Well, that was just a little upgrade just to sort of help him out. He was on a mercury vapour D3 bulb, but he got to the sort of size where he was just getting a bit too big for one bulb. So we stuck two basking bulbs on, which are this size, and I've got to give you a review on this size. He's going to be getting two of these by the end of this video, so stay tuned, and I'm going to show you how to make that. Before we actually run into how to make it, I just want to show you this little bit of information that you can take if you're just using a standard heat bulb for, say, your bearded dragon or anything like that. This is going to be interesting. So there we go, two basking bulbs, two different company basking bulbs, both the same wattage. That one there is a Pro Rep, that one over there is the Reptile systems. Now, you can see the shape difference and stuff like that. I've just put the Pro Rep in just to show you them. But what I want to show you is down here. Right, now, have you got, on your bearded dragon, can you see this round circle? Have you got that with your bearded dragon enclosure or any of your snake enclosures or anything like that? Can you see that round circle from your basking spot? Now that is coming from the Pro Rep bulb. As you can see with the Reptile systems, it's just a big hot spot. Now what the problem is here is all the heat is dedicated here. There's nothing in the middle, there's nothing on the outsides, it's just all the heat is dedicated just there. The problem with that is your animal won't be able to bask properly, won't be able to get the heat radiation through the UVI that comes out of these bulbs. Have you got that? If you have, how can you adjust it? Get a better quality bulb, or sometimes, quite often, that's often found through if you've got a dome or a clamp lamp on it, sort of, do you know the big domes? One of these. If you've got a dome over it, chances are you've got the wrong bulb for the dome, basically. If you've got a 100 watt dome, use a 100 watt bulb. If you've got a 200 watt maximum size sort of dome, use as big a bulb as you can possibly get away with, and that'll just stop that. It's all just because in the bottom of the bulbs, just there, you can see the ceramic, the sort of chrome area. Well, that's just down a little bit too far, and the light reflects off it far too much and just blows it out to the sides, and it doesn't actually concentrate it all around, sort of thing, like that bulb does. I'm blabbing on about this too much. Let's make this little contraption, because it's fully adjustable, so you can adjust the height however you want to. Let's go right now. Got it out of his enclosure. His lights are off. It's getting towards the end of the day, so he'll probably just hunker down and go to sleep. But I've got it out here to show you exactly how it's adjustable. Now, you'll have to bear with me because the bulbs are a bit hot and you can see how they're rotating. What do you guys think of these rotating brackets? They're absolutely amazing. I think you can have them set in all different directions, and they're just absolutely cool. I love them. And you can actually attach these rotating brackets to the domes as well, so that you can have the domes set secured to the side of enclosures facing down and stuff. If you want to see a video on that, I'll stick a card here. But this is what makes it adjustable. You've got this secured to the top of the actual enclosure. That's secured on hooks, perfectly fine. Now with D3 basking bulbs, mercury vapour bulbs, it's all decided on how high off the actual basking spot you should have your bulbs, to dependent on how much UVI output is put onto that basking spot. Can you see how the cable is running like that? Well, that's because it's set like that. I can unhook it there and hook it straight through that one and onto that one, and that will lift it up that little bit more. I can hook it straight onto this side, and it's that little bit longer. I can hook this side, and it's like that. So that's why I've got one set offset. So if I want it that little bit higher, I can just run it from that one up to there. If I want it a little bit lower, I can run it from that one into there. If I want it really high, I can run it all the way through to that one there. It just helps making it height adjustable, which I thought was quite clever. This here is just, you know, the net curtains that you get on your windows and stuff like that, and you've got that white sort of metal sort of cable that runs through to help it secure up. That's all that is. It's got hooks in the ends, just bog standard hooks, and on the actual wood, it's just eyelets. So I'm going to throw this together. I've just told you how to make it. I don't need to show you how to make it. But why am I making a new one? Simply because I've got to stick 2 bulbs that size in there. If I stick them together, it's just going to be too close together here. So I want to separate them out a little bit. Plus, this doesn't cover his entire basking spot. So I want to cover that as well. So I'm going from basically this size up to this size. It's not a massive difference, but it's big enough. While I am putting all this together, I love how it can be total detachable. Just 2 little tiny screws, and then when it's all together, this can adjust as well. I love that. Anyway, while I am absolutely screwing up, building this and screwing it all into place and stuff, let's talk about why I'm using D3 basking spots from Reptile Systems. Well, this is where the review portion comes in, so bear with me. I'm not really that good at doing reviews. But I'd never used mercury vapour bulbs before. I'd always heard of all these horrendous horror stories about the UVB. If you don't know what a mercury vapour bulb is, some people call them solar glows and all this sort of stuff, but that's what it is. It produces every light, every wavelength, just absolutely everything your reptile needs. It's got UVB, UVI, infrared, ultraviolet. It's got absolutely every light that your animal requires in one bulb. And that's basically it. And it's not, you can't use these with a thermostat or anything like that, because then it starts dimming your UVB output and stuff. It's just not ideal. So the way to go around it is height. So at 30 centimeters, if we have a look on the box, we've got this diagram on the back. Now, there's your bulb at the top, and your bearded dragon needs a UV index rating of between 2 and 4. That's on the Ferguson scale. If you want to have a look into the Ferguson scale, I've linked it in the description below. So to achieve that UVI rating for your animal, you need to set it between 30 and 20 centimeters off the floor. It's all guided there on the back perfectly fine. And you've got your UVI ratings all up there as well. It's one of the reasons why I absolutely love Reptile Systems, because they are actively pushing UVI over UVA, UVB and all that sort of stuff. If you can push UVI and get it out there, because that's the way forward in reptile lighting. That's one of the main reasons I use Reptile Systems, simply because they're pushing UVI. UVI is a video for another time. Let's just say that. It's mind-blowing, the amount of information that's involved with UVI. But I've got a UVI tester, a solar meter, and I plan on using it for a lot of tests coming up. So if you could think of any tests you want me to do with that, just stick them in the comments down below. I'm going to carry on building this. Join me when it's finished. I told you I was bad at reviews. I've just done a review and then went off in a totally different direction, and I didn't actually tell you why I actually like these bulbs. But I started to tell you, so I'll continue there. I went down to Reptile Systems way back, and I told them I've never used a mercury vapour bulb. And I told them why. It's because of all the horror stories. You set that up, and the UVB coming off that could be 10 times the requirement that it actually says it outputs. So you could be setting it all perfectly, and it could be far too much for your animal down there. Now, they do spike to start with, but they always tame back down. But they were just unpredictable. And he turned around to me and said, come downstairs, come down to our testing area. We'll show you what's what. And he was getting new bulbs, put them in, check the sort of UVB output, the UVI output, all that sort of stuff. And it just made me think, well, okay then, well, fair enough then. But then he took that same solar meter and put it under a tube light, your normal T5 and your T8 tubes. And I was shocked with the massive difference between them and these for the UVI output. So that's one of the reasons why I didn't choose to go on it. He said, look, they are the way forward. Here's one, take it back, test it, do a little review on it. That's what I'm attempting to do right now, but as you can tell, I'm really poor at doing reviews. It worked absolutely perfect. It come on every morning, it went off every night. Absolutely perfect. It lasted about, I think about 8 months, there or thereabouts. And then I had a big power surge in this property, and it popped about 4 bulbs within the property. This was one of them. So without that power surge, it could still be working now. I'm not too sure, but it blew at the right time because I needed to widen his basking spot and use 2 instead of just 1. So perfect opportunity to do a review. There is the Reptile Systems D3 basking bulb. These are actually available in the United States now as well. Again, I'll try and stick some links down in the description. I think you can only really find them on Amazon in the States at the minute. But to do that, they've had to change it from E27 fittings to E26, and they've had to get some new certification done onto them to see if they're suitable for the States. Reptile Systems, premium company, premium products. So here we are, it's done. I've got two rotary bulb holders, they're absolutely amazing. I've got the 3 clamps in the top, and it's just simply a case of threading it through, hooking it onto where I think it could do with going, which to me it's going to go like that, and then both. That's a bit heavier, so I've put 2 more securing brackets inside that, so it's going to be sat more like that instead of like that sort of thing. And we're going to plug in the 2 D3 basking bulbs and show you a before and after of this actual setup, because it's amazing the colour difference that it actually makes. It's in, it's balanced, it's at a distance that's yet to be adjusted. Hugo's popped out because I was making a load of noise. Just put the vent in, plug some bulbs in, and let's go. I can't wait to show you the difference between what it looks like with just some standard UVA sort of daylight basking bulbs to what these are going to look like in there, because these are just, they are the creme de la creme. But check out the size of the bulb compared to a standard bulb. So they are big, but they're absolutely amazing. You should see the packaging that these come in. These are the Reptile Systems ones, look. You've got your UVI sensors up there, your wattage, the bulb, what light it actually brings out, UVA, UVB, infrared. It's just all the details there, your instructions on the back, and that is massively important because that tells you absolutely every depth you need. I'm lucky, I've got a solar meter, so I can tell how high I need mine off to get the correct UVI rating for Hugo, my Savannah monitor. I like how this package it as well. So it's not actually touching the sides, there's no polystyrene because polystyrene is non-biodegradable. All this is fully biodegradable, it's absolutely hard. And you even get a sticker inside the box with it and all the cool instruction booklet. Let's go through and get these installed. Now I can tell straight off the bat that these bulbs are sitting too low. So before I even turn them on, I want to consult the back of the box. Hugo, the Savannah monitor, needs a UVI rating according to the Ferguson scale of between 4 and 6. So we look on here, between the 4 and 6, it says 20 centimetres from the top of the animal's head to the bottom of the bulb. So that's what I've got to do. I've got to get the tape measure and I've got to go and measure how much it actually is. So that's 15 centimetres. So that means I've got to up it by 5. And the simple way to do that, again, this is fully adjustable. So I'm going to take the weight off this. I'm going to get that hook there and hook it onto there. Put a bit of tension back in the cable. Get this cable through that hole there. Come on. And all the way through to that one just there. Set it all up, balance it nicely. And that should be perfect. We've got that extra bit of height from Hugo's head to the bottom of the bulb. Bang on 20 centimetres. Are you ready for this, guys? Right, you probably won't notice a massive difference straight away. Plug it in, let the bulbs warm up and do that. Now, let me show you a before and after. So this is the before and this is the after. How much of a difference does that make? Remember from my last video, you would have seen me get this. This is a solar meter, specifically for checking the UVI output of a certain spot. I've just installed these. I don't know what it's going to read, but remember, I'm looking between 4 and 6 on the basking spot. So I've got to put this on the basking spot, press the button, see what it comes up with, and hope Hugo doesn't feel hungry for my little fingers. He already looks a bit hungry. Let's see if I can distract him over here. Oh, no, he's hungry. Here he comes, he's coming out to play. You coming out to play so I can do this for you, mate? He's shedding at the minute, poor little bugger. Right, here we go, here we go. 4.1, 4.3. So both the bulbs are exactly the same height and the exact same UVI rating. So the consistency between all their bulbs is absolutely amazing, as I've just shown right there. Now the joy with this is, if that UVI rating drops below 4, I can just lower the bulbs down a little bit. Just lower them down by 2 centimetres, bang. We've got a whole decent new ray of UVI for Hugo the Savannah monitor. That's the video finished, guys. I hope you've enjoyed. Peace.